Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. And if you're new to this channel, well, welcome aboard. I'm not really too much in technical analysis. I'm dealing more with behavior analysis, some data, and some different psychological interpretations of things, and also some deep philosophy related to just a personal journey that we're on. Because if you want technical analysis or anything like that, go watch your favorite YouTube channel, get into do your own DD, and that's something that I've been going down for the last 8 months, doing it myself and really going down the rabbit hole as much as I can. And going along with that, you gotta realize that nothing is set in stone and nothing's black and white. Whenever you expect something to hit and it's setting dates, no, throw that out the door. Keep doing due diligence, and when something happens, it happens. You're gonna learn more and more each day, just like which we had all the new FUD, all the drama on Reddit, and all the drama on YouTube. It's all gonna be there. It'll always be there. So just remember, filter out what you think is important. All right, and this is a very relevant topic because the videos I'm going to be putting forth, the next 3 to 4 videos, are a longer series from Wes Christian and Lucy Comazar. She's an independent journalist who's done a fantastic job with Wes over the last 20 years. I mean, they have an incredible track record working together, but also dependently and independently. Everything that they've done has been fantastic. This video is broken apart from the superstonk video series, the AMA. I wanted to break it down to just shorter sections so you can understand what each section is about and how that can apply to this current situation now, and what is the long-term implications, ramifications, and even a timeline that everybody's worried about. Because you have to think, whatever you expect, I mean, when we're back in January, people bought in. All right, things that happen, it's going to happen again in March, April, May, June, July. Well, you know what? It's almost August. Don't worry about time. You're holding the Holy Grail, you're holding the key, and that's the best thing we have right now. So without further ado, I'm gonna break this into sections, and pay attention, take note, because the amount of information and just complete utter chaos that Wes Christian went through, and not just that, from Eagle Tech, Taser to Overstock. Each of these separate companies has a similar timeline, but each of their stories is very different. But it's really sad because at the end of the day, S.E.C, FINRA, DTC, they don't give a rat's ass about the retail investor or even the CEOs of the companies. Nah, they're not doing their job. And that's the thing Wes is going to get into. He's going to only be able to do so much. And what he really needs and talks about is the whole community that we have going on now. That is the power within the community to bring this to the light of day and get this to our senators, congressmen. Write letters wherever you are, overseas, internationally. Write letters, contact people, email about this, and get any evidence, and just keep inundating it, because the mainstream media, controlled, bought, and basically that's their whole backbone is controlled by the hedge funds. Anyway, it's all in there. I don't want to keep talking too much, but yeah, enjoy the next few videos, all right? And I will not have an introduction for each of them, but I'll be broken down with the header for each of them. So have a great weekend. Get offline, get outside, go for a walk. The FUD, information, drama, it's all going to be there. Don't worry about it. So stay strong.
He said it's not just the cash. It is the fact of the jobs that have been destroyed, the families that have been destroyed, the technology that's been destroyed, and the lack of confidence in our marketplace that is the tragedy here. This isn't just money. This is impacting in a very negative way people's lives. It is impacting us in a negative way about advancing technology, whether it's cures for brain cancer or some different kind of word processor or whatever. Inventors no longer are safe in taking these companies public, because it's easier to kill them, Lucy, than it is to build them up, because I can simply manufacture shares, sell it, and ultimately exceed demand. And I promise you I'm going to make money on my shorts. Quinn said it's rigging the market. You're better off, when we got interviewed by Dateline, you're better off to be dealing off the bottom of the deck, have them deal off the bottom of the deck in Las Vegas than you are to do this.
So let's about corrupt money using offshore, and tell us about Mr. Botliner from Liechtenstein and the offshore companies, and who he was, because he had a reputation as a criminal, and this is one way of moving criminal money into the U.S. Economy.
No questions. So Batliner, no question, was a known criminal. I'm getting this from Justice Department sources. We also work with them in connection with the Sedona case. And ultimately, he lived in Liechtenstein or Liechtenstein. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Stein.
Is it Stein? Okay, Liechtenstein.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not. I need to bone up on my German, I guess. Anyway, so ultimately, what they were doing is laundering money through lawyers' trust accounts, through convertible debentures, through other means. And when you think about it, it is a perfect way to launder money. Money comes in offshore. It comes in offshore into a lawyer's trust account. That lawyer represents the client who makes the loan to Sedona or whoever else. And ultimately, that money becomes clean by virtue of you getting shares. Those shares are then put in a brokerage account. They're sold and liquidated. And next thing you know, you've got a perfect laundering scheme. In fact, in a different case that we took depositions in, the perpetrator had set up 125 offshore companies, 125 through one law firm. And in doing so, Lucy, they prepaid the law firm to liquidate the companies within 6 months after they lent the money, because their intention was to kill the company in 6 months, liquidate their position, and liquidate the company so they could take the records and destroy them, whether it was in Cayman, Liechtenstein, wherever. But clearly that case, Sedona case, had organized crime in it for sure, via Batliner, via Thomas Badian, Andreas Badian, via I say Michael Vasinkovich, and via ultimately Baldwag Bank by virtue of what happened at Refco.
Now, in one of the filings that you presented, I picked up the line that the S.E.C. showed that 82 companies reporting investments by AMRO, which was the company involved, the shell company involved in this, 81 of them lost almost 40% of market value in the first year. Now, if the S.E.C. knows that, besides maybe going after one of the Austrian brothers, did they do anything to deal with this whole death spiral financing?
No. In fact, to the contrary, what I think happened, Lucy, from my perspective, is I think the companies that entered into death spiral financing were punished. I think the victims become the hunted, and that not vice versa. But it's really no different when you think about it with what happened in Reg Show. In Reg Show, which went into place January 1 of 2005, what you're going to see is that the name of the companies whose shares are being sold but not delivered. So the company that gets raped gets their name posted. The rapist who sold the shares and never delivered them of the company that got raped is not, their name never appears. Well, the same situation happened with those death spiral financing companies. The companies were the ones who were the hunted, frankly, by the S.E.C., not vice versa.
Now, in May of 2003, you filed a civil action for Sedona against Ladenburg Thalmann, Vasinkovich, Badian, Rhino, and others. What happened to that?
What happened ultimately with that is we had several mediations in that case, and ultimately they settled. Some portions of it were dismissed. So ultimately, from my perspective, it wasn't that successful of a case. One, it was in a tough place at the time, the Southern District of New York, although, frankly, the judges there have become much better at paying attention to this, in my opinion. And become a lot more objective. But at the time, frankly, this concept of naked short selling was, frankly, a hard pitch to a judge. And in their defense, I would have to say, I kind of get it. I remember the first time I was in front of one of the judges, they said, or one of my colleagues was, I take that back, another colleague was in front of him and said, basically, you're from Mars or something, telling me the story. You need to put on a Martian suit because basically this can't be happening, surely, because the S.E.C. would stop this. They can't be selling assets that they don't deliver. That's stealing. Well, yes, it is stealing, Your Honor. But what ends up happening? The answer is not much. Not much.
And especially in this case, the co-conspirators, Pershing, Westminster, Frankel, which is a market maker, nothing happened to them. They got a pass from the S.E.C. and the Justice Department. So this, it seems to me, encourages them to compete, to repeat this kind of behavior.
It does, Lucy. I've commented on this many times in the written word, and Forbes and Wall Street and all the other publications we've been in.